2019, we started out with a small dream of basically having, let's try service apartments, where we get. One unit, which we held on to the whole of 2019, and then 2020 we decided let's expand the business. So interestingly, over lockdown, we've gone from, this is no exaggeration, we've gone from having one unit to now 8 going to 10.
And we took some more apartments in Manchester, and we were still in the rent-free period. We were still decorating. We hadn't even taken the photos yet. We had to do the clean ourselves because we couldn't even get our cleaners to come in enough time. Yeah. And she booked for 1 month, and then messaged us a couple of days later to say that she wants to extend for she wants to stay for 6 months.
Absolutely excited to share you Kelly and Emma's journey. In this video, guys, is so much value. They talk about how they've scaled their business literally in a year to, I think, about 8 to 9 units. So 8 to 9 proper service accommodation unit. They need to get that all filled, and one of the reasons, obviously, in the interview Kelly mentions is they wanted to make sure they were confident on the brand before they went and added more units. They've got an amazing journey to share. This interview, I'm so excited. Just to give you some of the highlights we've done in the 4 weeks that we worked together, they used to get a lot of, 3 nights booking, potentially maybe 7 nights as one of their largest booking. But working with me, just making those changes of their brand, getting seen properly, getting those direct bookings, we actually shifted their brand presence to actually get bookings worth like 30 nights, 28 nights. If you follow me on Facebook, I've actually posted, and somewhere down in this interview, I'll also leave that screenshot of actually Kelly texting to me saying, Piers, look at our Toolkit account, and it was literally any bookings under 7 nights. They were all 30 nights, 28 nights, 30, 31, 25, 14. All these big bookings, that's what's going to make your service accommodation journey a lot fruitful, cheerful, and you can enjoy running the business rather than having little check-in and check-outs and stuff. In this client interview, I share you a massive success of this client who's went from getting little bookings to massive big bookings, and also within that term, they're so confident that they've just gone and added more properties to their portfolios. So guys, please make sure you enjoy this interview. If you've got any questions, please make sure you leave that in the comment down below. Guys, welcome back to another client interview of mine. I think another special interview. I've been doing this weekly. This is probably my 6th interview this week with one of my clients, which I'm going to roll. So guys, welcome to the video. I really, really appreciate taking your busiest time at the moment you guys have, which you're going to share in a minute. But welcome to this video.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great. How you guys doing?
We're good. Lockdown has been challenging for us. Not necessarily personally, more as a business. It's challenged the business to think about other ways to generate leads and to grow, not just to survive, but to grow. Because stagnation and the business basically staying as it was, the same size for the year, while waiting for the COVID pandemic to pass, just wasn't an option. So interestingly, over lockdown, we've gone from, this is no exaggeration, we've gone from having 1 unit to now 8 going to 10.
You are going to 10. So something that I was going to drop there. Now, guys, if you don't mind me asking you, who are you? Because I know who are you, but viewers out there, I've got people nowadays watching from America as well as my 80% of my viewers are from UK. So they would love to know who you guys are. What are you currently doing? And we'll talk about your scaling in 2020. It's been incredible.
So we are in short through luxury stays. It's Emma and Kelly, husband and wife team. Our company is Through Apartments, trading it through luxury stays. So we typically be seen on the social media platforms as Through Luxury Stays, throughproperties.com. We basically started out with 2019. We started out with a small dream of basically having, let's try service apartments, where we get. One unit, which we held on to the whole of 2019, and then 2020 we decided let's expand the business. Let's test this theory of when everyone is afraid, be greedy.
Wow, love that.
Easier than done. We thought this is the first sort of economic challenge that faces the nation that we face together as a couple, and it is a good time for us to test whether we actually have the mettle to do what we say, which is basically when everyone else is running away, go towards it. And it has so far been.
It has worked. Now, listen, whoever's watching this video is going to go through some of the incredible results that you guys have achieved. Not personally for me, it's not, let's put the brand building aside. I think what you guys have done just for your business, the understanding, the planning, the operational, whatever you guys have done has taken you guys to where you are today. Branding is probably 10-15% of what you guys have invested this year. But also there's a lot more off the back end, which, a lot of owners forget when they're taking 1-2 units. That's a whole different story. When you're taking units like you guys are, 4-5 at a time, then that's a whole completely different game, especially units which are not close to you. They are miles away, right? So obviously we're going to touch base on that. So guys, what I want to start with is, let's go back now. This is probably 8th week. I think we worked for 4 weeks. It's already gone past that 4 weeks now, till I did my handover with you guys. And what I'd love to know is, let's forward back 4 weeks ago when we first started working together. First of all, why did you decide to come and invest on your brand? Because I know you guys were doing really well already.
It was basically to instigate a shift in our business operations. We wanted to establish the business as a credible provider of luxury service departments. We wanted the Fru brand to have more of a respectable perception out there, serious operators. And on a operational level, we wanted less of the overly short bookings and more of the longer ones, so that there's less admin overhead, and we can then concentrate a little bit more on the strategic growth.
If we've got longer term bookings in there, it's just a bit more stability, and we can take on more units as we're doing now. It's just a lot less of the smaller tasks of check in, check out, and keeping track of cleaners and people checking in, checking out. It's just more confidence in that guest that's in there, if they're in there for a month or 2 months, 3 months, and you can build better relationships when people are in there for longer, which we have had like a little taste of, but it was always 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights. We would get a booking for 7 nights, and that would be like, wow. Oh my God,
we've got somebody there for 7 nights instead of that 2 nights. The checkout, the cleaning, get apartment or the accommodation ready for somebody else to come in again. So right. So let's talk about a little bit of challenges you were facing then. So when those kind of little bookings were coming, or let's even put all this booking out, the challenges in terms of when you did get those bookings come through, what were you thinking? And in terms of your head, when you invested that as a brand, why were you thinking, okay, that was our challenges and we got to invest in our brand to be able to get those longer term bookings?
Because we did we had a little taste of it. I think it was just before we signed up with you. It was when we just took our first apartment in Manchester, and we had that 2 week booking on Airbnb, and it was a decorating company. And I think in Plymouth as well, we had some longer term stays. And I remember thinking at some time in that 2 weeks or 1 week that it feels like we've got nobody staying in our apartments, because it was no headache, like no messages coming, no questions, no worrying. Like, sometimes when you just wake up in the morning and you feel like you're a bit worried about something, but you're not really quite sure what, but it's because you've got like 3 check-ins and that person was messaging all day yesterday about Wi-Fi codes and this, that. So I just remember at some point in that 2 weeks, like I turned around to Amber and I was like, feels like we've got nobody in our apartments. But we had all full. They were all full, and they were good rates, and it just felt really good. So we were like, we need more of that to be able to go and take 5 new apartments. How are we going to be able to be, because we like to do the fit out process ourselves, but how can we be doing that while answering all these messages and everything,
Guys had a plan in place. That's probably what I would say. So how did you guys know about me and my service? Obviously, my brand builder hasn't been out for a while. It's a part of my consulting that I do. So how did you guys know about me, and how did it come across that you guys book a discovery call?
Oh, that would be kind of...
Yeah, I can't. We spoke about this on our last call, didn't we? As well.
Yeah, we did.
I think I've had you on Facebook for quite a while, because I think I think when we went to some property courses, I think maybe you was around as well, and I've always kind of seen you on Facebook and stuff. But obviously, after this conversation that we had about our little taste of the longer term bookings, it reminded me of seeing your content. Mm-hmm. So I found a few of your posts and I sent them to Amma to see what he thought, and then that's when Amma was like, yeah, contact him straight away. Yeah. So then I messaged you, and then I think we was kind of in the middle of doing a lot of things. Then kind of that's when we booked in the...
Yes, you did. Now, I do remember our discovery call, and I was very surprised, and I remember mentioning this to you guys as well, is on the call, I explained to you all my service, and I said, guys, is there anything you would like to know? And you went, no. And I said, would you want to go ahead? You went, yes. And then you just started for us. So let me ask you a question. What was it, why did you have that planned already? Because a lot of people come in a discovery call with me, honestly speaking, they will challenge me. And, the fact that obviously, bless them, they've never gone through the process, they will ask me certain level of questions. But in your case, you did ask me questions, and you asked, but I did allow to show you what I could achieve online, and, the befores and afters. So you kind of, but how quickly you went, yes, this is the person. So what made you do that?
I think, what you said in the discovery call, and I mean, it wasn't just, you weren't just talking hypothetically of like, this is what you could do. You actually looked at our business and our online presence personally. It wasn't kind of what we can do generally. And it all just made sense. It was just, for me, it was like, even just some of the things that you said on that first call, it was like, oh my God, didn't even think. So I don't think we even needed to kind of, did we even give each other the nod to say that, we'll do it? I don't know. It was just, we kind of know that we wanted to make that decision, and everything that you were saying was like what we've spoken about ourselves.
Totally.
Before calling to speak with you, we have conversations like this about directions that we want to go in our business, and we talk about what's important to us. We typically will have a whiteboard and write down a couple of key points, keeping it within sort of 5 to 10 points of what is important. Normally, we scale it down to about 5. When we come on the call to you, we know what's important. In the course of a natural conversation, we're not firing questions at you to try. We're just talking, and then if in the course of that conversation, you're naturally throwing back some of those answers to us, that already for us is like that. That's a nod. By the time you've even spoken for 2 minutes, we're like, these answers.
And we'd started the process on something, so we understand where you were saying that we should get to, so that we understood, because as you could see, like with our brand and everything, we tried, like we'd started certain processes. You know what I mean? So it just everything.
So let's put it this way: when we did the audit, you guys had, and I said you guys were looking good on Google already. Some of the things you were doing was right. And then what we did. Now let's talk about the 4 weeks journey with obviously through luxury service departments and service accommodation. How was the 4 weeks, and what has happened since? Because now it's 4 weeks handover completion. We're now another 4 weeks down. Because one thing I get asked a lot of people going is saying, Piers, what can you achieve in 4 weeks, and how is it going to benefit me long term, right? So now you guys have been a client of mine for 4 weeks. You're out there doing your own stuff for the last 4 weeks as well. So we're down in 8 weeks now. Let's talk about the journey you had. So what's making you so confident about your brand right now?
The main thing is we've seen a shift in the kind of inquiries we get, a shift in the kind of bookings we get, which is basically gone from the rather short inquiries, very short stays, 3 nights to 5 nights, to it shifted now towards inquiries for 1 month to 6 months to potentially longer.
Yeah.
And the effect of that on a practical level is an increase in confidence as a business. And that increase in confidence then can spur us into further growth.
And all of that is exactly what we wanted, isn't it? I mean, we've got all of our apartments full at the moment. And as we said just before, the smallest booking in the shortest booking in there is 7 nights. Whereas before, that 7 nights would be like, it would be, that's like our longest booking, but out of all of the 8, then we've got them all full, and the shortest is 7
We're
nights.
moving that fast.
Wow. Now, look, I think we should talk about this, guys. So, okay, the journey people are going to watch this. They're going to go, wow, they've achieved. No, you guys have seriously, well done to you both. I think sometimes you forget to pat yourself on the back. Purely the fact that you remember it's 2020, things are not right for lots of people. People thinking, I still remember the first lockdown, I'm sure you guys did, when all the OTAs, I'm sure you guys remember OTAs, you wake up in the morning, you look at your phone, some bookings come through and you're like, oh, I've slept and I've made some bookings. That's what it used to be. Yeah. How often do you get that now?
No, not really. Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, I used to wake up in the morning going, oh, bookings. Some mornings I'll say 5 notification going, wow, I've had a good sleep. Like, look at sleep because the bookings come through. Now I don't. And this is where the market has changed for us, hasn't it, as a service accommodation industry. So let's talk about a little bit about your bookings as a result of what we went through, which now you've said, 7 nights used to be a big bookings. If you could just drop some of your longest bookings that you guys have right now in some of your apartments.
So be timeless, wouldn't it? Yeah. So when we took some more apartments in Manchester, and we had to rush around to get it ready for her because she wanted to, we were still in the rent-free period. We were still decorating. We hadn't even taken the photos yet. We had to do the clean ourselves because we couldn't even get our cleaners to come in enough time. Yeah. And she booked for 1 month. And then messaged us a couple of days later to say that she wants to extend for 6. She wants to stay for 6 months.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to stop you there, Kelly. I think what she said, I remember she loved the place. Yeah. Why she wants to extend it for 6 months. So don't take it away from you guys. You guys have got such a great eyes for setting up units. You really do. So that is the result of why a client's gone, I love this place. And that's the fact that you've done all of that while you've already got that inquiry who's going to come in and stay for a month. And then now all of a sudden it's gone to 6 months. Any other bookings that we're not, I'm going to randomly ask you, so I know, because it's now been 4 weeks later, I need to know all these bookings as well. So any other bookings that you guys have had in your new units, because you've just taken on? What bookings do you have?
So we've got one that's just gone in at the weekend for 3 months minimum. Our oldest Manchester unit, there's somebody in there for a month. He might look to extend.
Loving it.
He's phoned 2 or 3 times since they've been in there, and he loves it. And he wants more, and he wants bigger. So even some inquiries that come through that we can't actually accommodate ourselves, I always try and keep the communication between us and say that we can look for somewhere else for them or anything, and so that's been good as well.
Right.
So it's an interest to basically build on a relationship with other hosts as well, because we're now passing on leads. Yeah,
you're passing on leads. That's a great place to be. Now, Kelly, I remember you saying one thing in our last call when we did our handover. It was you said your client habits have changed the way they book with you now, right? It was more and also your habits with dealing those leads have now changed too. So I talk about this, especially with my investor club at the moment, is how is your client finding you and their habits of finding you? Because you guys now have noticed there's all the other platforms that you can be found and get those leads. Also, the way you guys deal with those leads are completely different. What has changed over the last few weeks for you guys?
The booking process. Our booking process has had to mature as a result of the kind of bookings that we're now getting. We've had to put in place checks just before we complete the booking. We're more confident with things like, say, certain security deposits that before they were up in the air because we were relying on the OTA to say, for instance, handle the security deposit. We now handle it ourselves in-house. We do ID checks ourselves in-house now. There is different aspects of the business that have matured as a result of the kind of booking that we're now getting. So one of the key things that's changed is the systems.
Yeah, and even right from like the inquiry stage, just the way that we handle a booking now, the communication, everything has changed. And, I think that's been right from the start, from when we were talking with you. It just opened up our mind a lot more. Like, why would we not do that? Yeah. Why would we not include that or try, it's just, for me, before it would just be like, oh yeah, booking on Airbnb. But now it's like just a whole different mindset, I think. Yeah.
So what is it like now for Through Online? What's the change in the last 4 weeks and 8 weeks? What have we been able to achieve basically in that week's time for you guys?
Cool. Okay, so when we came to you, we had some bookings on the calendar, which then lockdown was announced and they got cancelled. So then we had to be finding ways to generate more bookings, which meant that as a business, we probably had something in the region of, 5 units with some BT bookings in there. And we now have bookings with earnings, one with an earnings potential of about 11.5, and another one which is potentially another 5,000. So across the business, like there has been like quite a quick change from basically finding ourselves in a position of being on the defensive because lockdown happened and the OTAs were blocking the calendars to now actually being actively able to move forward. And more proactive with it.
And in terms of where Through was about 4 weeks ago to where is it today, when people type in your company, how are you being seen?
You used to type which I would probably say, credit to you, Through Luxury Stays. We had Through Apartments, which is the actual company name as our name. You advised us to go Through Luxury Stays. We went Through Luxury Stays. It is quite a unique brand name, and it just keeps getting better. Our presence on Instagram is changed. So our images all across the board. We've actually had a booking from Instagram.
We told you that. Didn't we?
Wow. So you're now getting leads from Instagram as well.
Yeah. And Facebook. Inquiries from Google. We've had a client's message from places like Dubai where they found us. They found us through our Facebook presence, our Instagram, our Google presence. Yeah. So as a brand, our perception
users on our website. Check that like every week. The users on our website is just going up, and it's new users, and from Dubai, from Qatar, from India, China, it just keeps going up, and that's definitely something. I mean, we've had that website probably since April 2019. And it's not that we didn't know what to do with it. It's just that it was kind of there. And sometimes I'm just like, why are we even paying for that website? Like, it's not really getting us. Kind of knew what to do with it, but we just needed that kind of middle tier to actually get people to our website.
Drive traffic. Which is what we did in our first, second, third week, was all about building that traffic brand to be able to go into your website in week 4. And that's what we've been able to achieve that as well. So guys, I think coming towards the end, I think you guys have, I must say, you guys have smashed 2020 I work with a lot of SA owners in the country right now, as you know, right? Service apartment owners or Airbnb owners. And the way you guys have scaled up, really hats off to you. And I was a great pleasure to be a part of your journey and to be able to show you guys what's actually achievable by just putting little things in place, right? Just little corners that we put together and join them all together to be able to promote your brand. See, one thing I'd like to ask you is, people who's watching out this, give them a little tip about why people should invest in brand builder right now, and why has it been so important in 2020?
I think a lot of people, when they start investing in service apartments or even just any kind of property thing that requires online presence, they get told about the different things that they should do. Have a website, have a Facebook page, right, and have an Instagram page. What they don't get told, and what doesn't make sense to a lot of people, is how these different components come together to work towards your end goal, which is creating a reliable, strong presence for your brand so that you can get consistent bookings. Yeah. People don't get told how to put it all together. I think that one of the key reasons to invest in Brand Builder is it makes all these components sort of come together in line to achieve that goal, and they all start to make sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Kelly, what has it been for you? Because you've been more hands-on than obviously Amma has in terms of the whole process. And you kept asking me little questions, but you were looking at how does it feel to you now that you are still hands-on the brand? I know you have been. So how does it feel in terms of your mindset and your delivery?
As I say, it's just completely switched. I mean, the way I feel a lot less, I wouldn't say stressed, but a lot less worried about little things because, you know, as I say, the way that we handle bookings, inquiries, it just feels a lot more fluid. We was in the mindset before of it being very passive, you know, that everything to be automated, and we get a booking, check into, we don't really want to hear from anybody, you know, because obviously we work full time as well. So, but I've actually started to enjoy you know, exchanging those messages and building the relationships and everything, which has all come just from changing the way that we think about getting the bookings, and, you know, enhancing our website and changing little things, seeing how it works. And just, you know, I mean, all the work was done by yourself and Sid, which we're very, very grateful for. I mean, we would wake up in the morning and we'd have emails from Sid and this, that, and, you know, check this out, and we'd have a look, and it's like, you know, we'd just type in Through Luxury Stays, and each day it was just getting better and better, and we're just like, wow, this is insane.
Here's a small video. I've just put this on for you. Have a look. Oh my God, we didn't think of that.
The last thing I want to ask, guys, before we end the video, how has it been working with me and my team? People out there who are still waiting to think, okay, I do want to work with Piers, but not sure. Give them some advice, and why do you think what we've done well and what we haven't done well?
You do get what it is that you come for when you work with Piers and his team. This would be just addressing everyone generally. You get what you come for. You just need to be clear about what it is that branding entails. It isn't going to be a quick fix for the business. What it will do is give you the tools to grow your brand. Start to grow your brand right now, and you'll see the effects immediately. But also gives you the knowledge to go forward and implement those same strategies or tactics, and sort of replicate for the future, take your brand in a completely different direction. I would say that is more than worth.
And to be able to rely on your own business rather than OTAs, you know, you're actually relying on yourself now, your business, you know.
Put it this way. However much you pay for the branding, you could get, for people that are looking for quick wins, you could get one booking that will pay for the branding. You could literally get one booking in one unit and pay for it. And then the rest of the time after that, you can just basically, it's 100% ROI. Put it in
love that. I love that, the fact you've mentioned the ROI, because look, what I do say, and I've been posting every day on social media, one thing to people now is saying, I really don't enjoy sitting in 4 weeks' time saying, oh, we've made you this much money, or that's the return. That, do you know what? Sit down next year, and we're going to talk about this. It's going to be a whole different experience, because you guys are so much confident that if we sit down in 2021, about November time, and I ask you saying, how was it worth your investment? You're going to exactly tell Piers, it's just grown and grown and grown and grown. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. And I have really enjoyed working with you guys. I think a lot of time what happens with service accommodation owners like yourself, you come in, work with me, but you are so unsure about what's going to happen next. And just the fact that I was able to work with you and show you exactly how little things adds up to make such a big brand today. Let's put it this way. If somebody looks at your investment area, they know who you are straight away.
I think with the amount of work that you guys have done, as I say, I was kind of messaging you, what should we be doing? What should we be doing? Because it felt like, we've been able to take on 5 new units. How many miles? 200 miles, 250 miles away from us, so, and we've already finished 3 of them. Two of them are rented out on longer term, stays, but it's just the amount of work that you guys have done behind the scenes of everything has just been amazing. We haven't really done anything. It's freed up time for us,
and which is scaling up. That's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much. I mean, I think with all this busy time you guys have scaling up, adding more units on a weekly basis, it's been a fantastic time to get you guys on board and share your kind of results, your experience working with us. But at the end of the day, this is for people out there who, for me, I put content out because I feel like SA industry in the next few years is going to be even bigger and better, right?
Yeah.
People like yourself, myself, it's our role to give people the true kind of, not fluffy around, if that makes sense, just give people the true, what's happening out there in the market right now. We're talking, pandemic here. We watched this video in 2025 and we'll be going, wow, what a year this was.
Yeah, that's the hope.
It is. No, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for doing this video. And we will be in touch with you soon as a part of our review in the next 4 weeks. But thank you so much for doing this video.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this client interview of mine. I was really excited to get them on board. Really to a point that we had to stop. We finished our brand builder process. They actually were setting up more units, so we couldn't have done this straight away. And a few weeks later, just getting to know their journey, getting to understand that they've had so much value throughout the brand builder process. We was literally to show them that, look, all you're doing is marketing your property individually. Let's create a brand that allows to be seen a lot more, effectively allows you to get those long-term leads. Could be from OTAs, could be direct. But guys, if you're a service accommodation owner or if you're looking to start service accommodation business, please make sure you reach out to myself or my team, and we'd love to have a little chat with you. Well, thank you so much for watching this interview. If there's any questions that you've got and you'd like to know about service accommodation business or Airbnb business, please make sure you comment down below. Please make sure you send loads of love to Amma and Kelly, who has worked amazingly well for their business in the last few years and are looking to do amazing things for the industry. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure you're hitting that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.